marketing and started marketing and digital marketing from that uh, era, like 2016 or 15, when it was just starting off. Handled like a huge team and huge budget there. Like I was handling all CRM channels, email, SMS, WhatsApp, mobile marketing, notifications, etc. Then I moved to Cuemath, where I was heading marketing. So I handled performance marketing and other aspects of marketing. So that's where like had a exposure to all 360-degree marketing, scaling Qmath from 0 to 25 million ARR, handled both sides of market, partner side as well as demand side, because generally now there are two sides of market, supply and demand. So handled both aspects of it, and then moved on to let's say wellness and health, yoga, where I did India to US kind of marketing go to market strategy. And currently I am acting like fractional chief of growth for multiple companies, so again handling their growth and marketing aspects of site. So been there in multiple industry and multiple challenges, so it's exciting. And yeah, I'll stick to the agenda of cracking interview. So Rohit, you can
Yeah.
ask questions and we can do.
Yeah. So I think thank you so much, Labdhi. So you would have seen the various phases of where he has worked building teams, and also first question is around Labdhi. Let's say you have seen in QMath, you have built teams, you have done also in Sarva. What kind of hiring process generally for marketing positions do you deploy? You tell to HR, like, is it resume filtering, then some assignments, or what, three rounds of interview? What kind of a process generally looks like for companies like Sarva or QMath
Yeah.
or
So first is like HR filtration for basic, let's say, profile and relevance, etc. Then we move to a technical intro round, like quick, short technical intro to understand that if you have relevant experience or not. Then we give a assignment, because at the end you need to like deliver on performance marketing. So it's easy to understand if you have that knowledge. So we do a small assignment, and then we move to a managerial round, and then final round, which is more like a culture fit, or let's say more of a behavioral slash cultural fit round.
got it?
So generally these are the things that we follow. So we add a interview before assignment just to save on time for the candidate and for us also,
Mhm.
because if somebody has done assignment, then we feel that obligations happen. So we try to do a small intro round before the assignment itself.
So you mentioned about like small technical round before assignment. So who takes this round? What's the duration and how does it look like? Let's say for a performance marketing role.
So it will be half an hour round. It will be with someone, let's say, who knows performance marketing.
Okay.
So somebody who understands technicalities of performance marketing, and they will go through a basic check. It will be more like a intro, that because it's difficult to judge anyone in half an hour. So
Mhm.
we just judge that what have you done? Are you fitting for the role? Is
Mhm.
it the right skill set that you have? And then we move to the assignment.
Understood. Okay, so I think I'll go from the first thing you said, filtering resume. I think
Yeah.
that's what most of us do stuff where we do apply on LinkedIn, we see a job, we do apply for that role. And think a lot of us would have applied in many roles, but rarely do we hear back from HR. They just ghost us, right? So, what is that like? क्या होता है वो filtration criteria में कि आधे से ज़्यादा लोग हट जाते हैं? Like, what exactly do you look out for, or what exactly do you tell to HR कि यार, like, this is the filtration for a performance marketing or marketing or roles?
Yeah. So generally, first thing is relevant experience. So depending on the level of hiring,
Mm.
we ask HR to look out the relevant experience, and we tell them also the industry, or let's say top 10 companies where we can hire, so that HR understand what we are looking for, right?
Mm.
So first is relevance of the
Experience
person's
and companies have
experience.
always. But just lovely folks who have, they might not have 2, 3 years of experience, but they still would have knowledge decent enough for like a 2, 3 years of experience, assuming they might not have worked with fancy companies, which you might given up the list of. then
Yeah.
what? Like, how do we break in?
So if the role is more of a, let's say, fresher kind of role or one or two experience, then usually we try to look at more of a what skill set you possess, right?
Okay.
And what background you come for, or
Mm.
when you apply, right? As a candidate, you would have to present it in a way that it becomes relevant.
Okay.
Otherwise, nobody can shortlist you, right? Like, let's say you are applying for performance marketing
Hmm.
and you have 0 points in your resume.
Hmm.
So how would you get shortlisted? So either you make it a make it some way that it is relevant for the role that you are applying.
Yeah. But I'm worried even before that, will I be just kicked out because I'm not in the company list that I've worked in the past, which you have given to HR, and I might not have that 3 years of experience or 4 experience. Though everything is written on my resume. If you would have given a chance, you would look for my resume. But is that I will get cut out just before that?
See, there are criterias where you get cut out,
Hmm.
but in case you really want that job,
Yeah,
then you have to reach out multiple people in multiple ways.
awesome.
Like you have
That's
to
what.
really show your interest. Ki, this is the role that I can crack it. You
Hmm.
give me a chance for interview.
Okay.
So then you have to do little more extra effort to get selected, I would say.
And I want to just double click on that. Like, I would really want to hear for all of us, like, what is that extra effort looks like? Like, if someone you want to recommend, भाई करना क्या है? मुझे बता दो, मैं कर दूंगा वो सब.
Yeah. So let's say if I want to apply in small case, let's assume.
Okay.
So I will check which opening it is there. I'll apply there. But if I don't hear from them in 2, 3, 5 days,
Hmm.
I'll start looking out whom do I know or is there any hiring manager that I can pick.
Okay.
Like, can I get the hiring manager instead of HR? And
Okay.
then I'll write LinkedIn message that, hey, I have spent so and so time
Hmm.
researching about your new role, what you are looking for. And I
Hmm.
think I'll be a great fit for it. I applied for this job. Like, sharing that link is also important. Make
Hmm.
it easy for the person.
Okay.
And then say, Ki, I would love to have a 15 minutes conversation. So
Hmm.
you need to get that chance
And if
to
she
present
avoids or if
yourself.
he avoids, then what? He just,
Sorry.
like, I'm assuming he or she must be getting hundreds of messages in a day. What if he or she
See,
doesn't?
usually people don't message, right? When you apply in job, you just apply in LinkedIn and you move on.
Hmm. Okay.
Because when people are in job spree, what
Uh,
I have learned, they just apply left, right, center.
yeah, yeah, that's
It's
true.
like they shoot, spray and pray.
Hmm. Yeah, correct.
So between average and above average, there is very thin line.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I'm saying if you do like not just pray and pray, but you apply your strategy and
Hmm.
do a little more extra effort, you will stand out. I can tell you nobody does it. I am hiring manager, but I don't get DMs. They will apply in LinkedIn and that's it. But there have been instances where people reached out to me via my network or
Hmm.
via some route. Then I said, ki, okay, let me give him a chance because he has taken that extra effort
Hmm.
to go that way, right?
So great point. I think learning for all of us is just not just applying. I think it's about how to stand out and trying to do different majors, like you mentioned, reaching out to folks however possible. So on the resume, Labdhi, let's say one, I've written the points, I've filtered in the criteria, but that resume will also come to you
Yeah.
before for your round. Any tips on resume making or resume? There are a lot of things around, ek page ka, 2 page ka, pointers, what should we mention? Like how, and I know you won't be having that much of time because even on one call you're doing multitasking, but generally folks don't have time. So what does it require to stand out in resume? Because everyone's looks the same.
Yeah, I think being crisp and like if you are applying for performance marketing, you have to be crisp
Mm-hmm.
because your ads have to be crisp, right? You are right now marketing yourself.
Yes.
Facebook says, right, 20% text in
Yes.
your
Yes.
creative. So similar formula. Like there, if you are writing a bullet and it is 3 line bullet, it is very difficult to read.
Yeah.
So you have to be very crisp.
Mm.
You one and a half page resume is enough, I feel. Like my resume is also 1 page. So you have to create a resume which is one and a half. Try to be at one because that will help you becoming crisper,
Okay.
right? And second is that being to the point that this was my role, this is my impact, and this is what I bring to the table. I think being crisp is the most important. Second, there are more fancy templates of resume. I just get lost because we are used to read in Z pattern.
Mm.
So I like resumes which are in that pattern, because it's very difficult otherwise to figure out what you have done, what
100%.
you are really bringing to the table.
Yeah,
But resume template is not really important. It should be in a manner that the person can scan it and understand it.
got it. Got it.
This is what you bring to the table.
Got it. Cool. I think let me just quickly check if any questions up until now related to what we have discussed, and then I have a few other things. So I think one question is interns, right? Interns, what they should do from, is there any do's and don'ts for interns who are applying for it? Is one of the questions is related to what we
I
discussed.
think internship is the easiest to get.
Okay.
I would suggest choose your 20 company which you want to work with.
Mhm.
Just write them that I am studying here. I want to do an internship at your company. I am 100% sure you will get a right contact. For interns, I'll say go other way around. Where do you want to work? Because hiring is a big decision, right? One wrong hire can literally like take it a backseat, right? Let's say if I hire a senior person, he'll come after 2 months of notice period. Then he'll settle 2 months in our company. So
Mhm.
already 4 months is gone.
Correct.
So
That's true.
hiring is little far, I would say very cautiously done. But
Mm.
when it is comes to intern,
Mm.
we do it very quickly so that we give opportunity. It's easy to know the person in next 3 months. So I think it's easier, like create a list of companies you want to work with,
Mm.
reach out to them.
Mm.
Even if there is no opening, they'll figure it out.
Mm. And like I had this, like I did this as well, and I also suggest, do you think how feasible it is like what if they do analysis of, let's say if they're going in a performance marketing role, what if they go and check their ad library, do the analysis, check the landing page, do the analysis, basic stuff.
Uh,
What more they can do? Like, does all of this will help? Any, or is it like
for sure, it will help. As I said, you have to go out of your way.
Hmm.
So if
Okay.
you are reaching out to someone, just take one case study or one example or one insight that you have from their brand. I
Hmm.
think ad library is open, Google ad is also open, Facebook ad is also open.
Yes.
So you can just take like their library, create a small one pager PDF, or
Yeah.
share few pointers in the
Yeah.
email. So that will definitely stand out from all others. I think it will already take you to top 1% if you do that.
Perfect. And I think that's applicable to anyone here, like intern, not intern. I
Yeah.
think this definitely helps. It has happened with me, and I have also
Yeah.
done it personally. So yeah, it does help. On the technical round, let's say I am 100% you must have been sitting in some of the technical rounds. You have been hiring for performance heads. What basically, as a business head, what are you looking for when you are hiring for a performance marketer in a technical round? What kind of
Okay.
questions you ask? Or I think maybe one step before that, maybe assignment. If you can tell me, what do you do in assignment? By what exactly do you ask in assignment? Or if you want to write an assignment for a performance marketing or marketing role, what will that entail?
So generally, assignment is something that we are currently solving in a company.
Okay.
So generally, the case study is a actual case study that we are going through. So
Mm-hmm.
let's assume if I am currently working in a fintech company where we want to onboard mutual fund distributors.
Okay.
So the case study will be related to that. Ki how do we onboard mutual fund distributor? Which channels we will pick? Why you will pick that? What will be your messaging? So
Mm-hmm.
it will more revolve around to the objective of the company that we are currently in and what we are trying to solve.
Okay.
Or it may be a past case study which we know we solved it and we would want somebody else also to solve that points and bring it to the table. So
Any do's and don'ts there, like what they should do, what they should.
see, do's is that you have to write what you know. Like I feel that people overdo in their assignment, and when I dig deep, when I just go why you have written this, Then they casually say, "Oh, this I just written."
Okay.
So then it is like you have not gone into that attention to detail. You have just done a, let's say, run of a mill job. You went to Google, you did your research, and you just came up with the assignment, because it's not a college assignment, it's a problem solving assignment.
Okay.
So
Makes sense.
I would suggest ki don't do anything which you don't know. Don't write in assignment which you don't know, which you can't explain. Ki why are you doing this?
Yeah. Same goes for
So
resume. Yeah.
yeah, same goes for resume. Like my first thing that I look in interview is coherence. Ki
Hmm.
whatever you have written,
Acha, okay.
can you explain me? That's it. Like I don't even go beyond that. If somebody have written we reduced
Right.
CAC by one third,
Hmm.
I just ask him ki what did you do?
Hmm.
What were your learnings? Exactly how did it happen? I just go deeper.
Hmm.
So I am not looking you to know, let's say, any industry, right? You will come with your experience, your industry.
Hmm.
I am expecting you know what you have written in your resume.
Hmm.
Like that is my basic first level filtration. Most of the time people get filtered out there only because they are not coherent in their explanation.
Hmm.
And it's easy because I have done it last 10, 15 years, so I can make out if you are able to explain it or not.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
You,
there are instances when I ask people, how did you do? Oh, they will say, okay, I can open Facebook dashboard and show you.
Acha.
I'm like, if you don't know what you did, how will even you show me? You won't be able to. I know that.
Hmm. Got it. And you mentioned a very nice point. Coherent in, you have to be coherent in explanation. Like I really I really believe in that, because as soon as it becomes incoherent, like it's off, like you get generally off. Can you deep dive? Can you give me an example of like how does coherence look like?
So generally, if I like few questions that I ask, which is your strongest channel?
Okay.
So few of them will say all channels. I can do everything. I have done Facebook. I have done SEO. I have done social media. I have done Facebook, Google also. I'm like, okay, you have done every channel. Then I'll ask the most difficult question in any channel. Then I'll say, okay, you don't know this. Then I'll pick next channel. So that is one of the examples which I face a lot. Like people will tell me I've done everything.
Mm.
So nobody is expecting that you have done every channel. You have to be master of one, and same principles apply in everywhere else.
True.
So you can like show your expertise. It is more as an opportunity to show your expertise
Mm.
rather than saying I can do everything.
Mm.
Then when I go deeper, okay, so how do you prioritize? All channels you do,
Mm.
perfect. How do you prioritize?
Mm.
Then they will say something. Then I'll ask you, okay, how is your budget allocated? Then I'll ask, why are you not prioritizing based on your budget? So if you are not coherent, you will fall in a loop. You
Got
will make mistakes somewhere or the other that you yourself will know ki, okay, I'm not able to explain the point.
got it. I
And
think
then they get nervous. फिर वो deep, the more deeper you go, then they start it's faltering.
yeah, I
But I
think
give them chance. I
I,
don't let's say even after one fault I will say ki, okay, calm down, I understand you don't know everything. Now
Mm.
tell me what is your best channel.
Mm. Mm.
Then I just go deeper there ki, okay, this is your best channel.
Mm.
Which campaign you ran, what was the result, how did it happen? Very simple questions. What was your objective? What did you do? What was the results? And then I asked, what was the team involved in this? Because usually what happens, you try to own up things which your team would have done.
Mm.
But it's very difficult to replicate what your team has done and what you have not done. So
Mm.
best approach according to me is whatever you have done, articulate it better.
Mm.
You would have played a role in creating some impact. Articulate that better, explain that better, and just go through that.
So for everyone, I think highlighting this point, what did you do and what were the results? मतलब outcome क्या था? किया, what did you do? And then what was an outcome? And it had, then I think that outcome will, you have to explain it then, like as you mentioned. Abdi is a very nice guy, so he gives second chances. But folks generally don't do. They get a bit harsh in interviews. Like I'm bad at it. I'm also learning. Like my interviews goes through a stress interviews kind of a thing
So
because
basically, see, inter would say, hello,
hello. I think your network. Yeah, now we are.
sorry.
Yeah, you're saying
Yeah,
something.
yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Rohit. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just mentioning that think you are nice, so you give second chances. Otherwise, there are no second chances. I think one has to be spot on from day zero. So, got it. Nice. I think so. My takeaway from here is like how you represent or how you articulate your answer is equally important. As you said, one has to be coherent, right? So, what if someone has mentioned I have reduced CAC by 30% in last 6 months on X channel? He'll 100% ask me about it. Like, what did you do? Then I have to share my context. Like, what was the context? What were we facing? What was the environment then? Then what kind of steps I took to do it? And then what was the result or outcome? Like, if there was three experiments that I did, and also CAC is an outcome metric, right? CAC has levers of cost. If you're doing a leads in campaign, then it is lead or lead to payment percentage. So automatically you'll break and say, boss, my CAC was lower because I reduced my CPL by X percentage. And I reduced my CPL because I improved my landing page conversion rate by Y%. And these are the three experiments that I did. Because of this, it helped me. So as he said, how to portray it is equally important. Like what did you do and all of that. So Labdhi, you might have an option to mute now.
Yeah, yeah. So I would suggest whatever you have done,
Mm,
summarize it well, break it. This was my objective. This
mm,
is what we have done. This is the result.
mm,
Be structured and be thorough with what you have done. And don't try to tell, matlab, it's easy to catch hold if
mm.
you are telling something which you have not done. At least it's easy because I will try to triangulate it with three, four questions. So
Yeah.
I'll get it ki where you are coming or what you have done, what you have not done.
So folks, it's a common methodology which is used, like as Labdhi mentioned, triangulate. Often Labdhi also used to do with us as well. So like when we used to present data, right? And it's a common thing, right? When you present something, our revenue has increased by this. So then automatically once the question starts build up, it has to come up from some acquisition sources, right? If I say, okay, from this ABC, this was the source for individual, but of all of it doesn't sum up to the actual revenue that I mentioned. That's triangulation, right? He's trying to understand, okay, boss, बाकी का 20% कहाँ से आया फिर? And that's how we'll try to understand it deeper. Spot on, Labdhi, on how to present your answers. I think that's what I'll take away. On technical bit, I'll go deeper now.
Hmm.
So let's say there are two kinds of roles, and we'll first do entry level jobs. Let's say it is your company, you are, and I think based on all your experiences, you are launching a company, you're a head, you're a CEO. Now you need someone to run your ads for you, like basic level. You don't have money to shell out head of performance marketing role, so you need an entry level job kind of a roles, right? What exactly your technical round look like?
So my technical round would be more of, let's say, problem solving or case study with that person.
So can you give
Uh,
an example? Let's say what exactly will it be? Maybe let's say
uh,
meta ads. How to do meta ads? So
yeah, so one, I'll give assignment, right? Because even if it is entry level,
mm,
I'll just try to give a small assignment
okay.
that, let's say, we have to grow our supply side acquisition by 20-30%. This is the data.
Mm,
What can you do?
mm,
So then, based on that assignment, only more or less the discussion will happen. Technically, what are you trying to do? How you are trying to do? But more importantly, I won't judge based on the meta technical experience, because
same.
I feel I can teach, or anybody can learn tools.
Yeah,
Like you can run tools very quickly. अभी कुछ meta तो I feel कुछ बचा भी नहीं है. Right? It is majorly creatives
correct.
that you have to run, and it's more like exclusion that you don't do this, please.
Mm,
Like don't on advantage plus from start, or don't do this. So there are don'ts then do's right now.
mm,
So I know ki I can teach someone tools. I try to see that is the guy learn, like can he learn? Can he really understand what I'm telling him, and can he execute that? Does he have that aptitude to learn? Then I'll invest and get him learn. That is, I think that's how I generally approach freshers, because I know they have not experienced, they have not gone and done execution. So I would give them more generic case study, generic questions to understand if they can learn or not. Do they have that understanding? Can they comprehend what I'm saying and then come up with a structured solution?
So I think
Because
of
if you have done Meta, you can do Google. If you have done Google, you can do Meta. There might be technical here and there, but basic
thought
things remain same.
approach, all of that remain the same, and that's what you're
Yeah.
trying to place primarily in entry level folks. I
Yeah.
think one question again related to what we're discussing for entry level. Safan asked that a fresher will probably have a fundamental understanding of platforms like Google, Meta, all of this, might have created one or two campaigns as well. Now, in this case, will you prioritize someone who have more technical knowledge of performance marketing, which is factual, or holistic understanding of performance marketing? I think more of holistic, you can understand like who knows its implications on business, holistic, how it works around the whole methodology about it, or who knows technically कि मुझे कहाँ पे जाके create campaign करना है and I can able to should be able to do it.
So if it is entry level,
Yeah.
I would want a smart person. I might be okay that if he doesn't have a technical
Okay.
knowledge. Basically, see, you can't get technical knowledge by doing course. You have to execute it. You literally have to. Either the course have taught you to execute you, so then you will have a better understanding. Like if you have spent your own 1,000 rupees in your own page, you will anyway do better in interview also.
Correct.
So even if you're a fresher, create a page and spend 1,000 rupees. Like that's the cost of
Yeah.
you learning the ads.
So you're saying
So
you won't like if someone is an entry level, you need a smart guy who can figure things out over someone who just knows about nuances of technical
yeah,
nuances of marketing.
yeah.
Of
Generally, HR will filter you because you would have written Google certification, Facebook certification, uh, G tag certification. But when you come to interview, the person knows, right? You have done basic certifications.
Perfect. So now let's say you are hiring a head of performance marketing role. Your companies have grown. It's in 0 to 1 stage, doing like 4 5 CR a month. You need a solid head of performance marketing role who can really grow this company. How does a technical round look like for him if he does it with you?
Yeah. So for performance marketing, I'll be more deeper. Like, what was the performance mix?
Mm.
Like, what was the marketing mix or the performance marketing mix that you are using? Which channel?
Mm.
Why you are using this channel?
Okay.
Like, where do you get your inspiration from?
Mm.
How do you hire in your team? Or
Mm.
what will you need in your team to become successful?
Mm. So kind of questions now
Plus,
switching gears, like more towards team and managerial
yeah,
OS, is
yeah.
it?
And plus, maybe give him a view access and ask him to audit it.
Mm.
Ki this is my access. You audit the account and come back with your targets of 3 months.
Mm.
So much easier because performance marketer head
Mm.
has to do on his own. It
Mm.
is a top down. I can just set a target. Ki boss, our target is 100 CR.
Mm.
This is my budget. Now you tell me what to do. I can't tell him what he needs to do.
Mm.
So therefore, the questions are more: Can he build that vision?
Mm.
Can he build that team?
Mm.
And then would team, let's say, respect him because he has that knowledge? So their little game changes from being a structured interview or what do you know to how can you solve a unstructured problem? Can you handle ambiguity? Can you handle budgets?
Can we prepare for such kind of rounds, or is more like how they would have done it, it will show up in the interview?
Uh, so see, definitely you can prepare.
Mm.
Uh, But yeah, like based on your experience, also it's easier to do it or not.
Hmm.
But definitely you can prepare for the interview
So what does
because
it look like a preparation for head of a, let's say, now you will be asking such questions and it might or might not, I'm not taking into account what kind of experience they had in the previous company, how what budgets, but if what it looks like to prepare for such kind of rounds for a head of performance,
so
like typically.
one is small, like go to the ad library of the company or the competitor.
Hmm,
Just do Facebook ads analysis.
hmm,
Second, you can go to AdWords, do some keyword analysis. Go to SimilarWeb to
hmm,
understand how the industry work, because every industry have a different marketing mix.
hmm,
Let's say gaming industry, influencer marketing is more relevant,
hmm,
performance might be lower, versus let's say fintech, you again there is lower performance but there is more distributor channel, legacy channels that would work.
hmm,
Then comes B2C, e-commerce, or any consumer internet company where performance is the most heaviest part of their let's say. So you need to build a mental model that if I am performance head of this company,
hmm,
what will I do?
hmm,
Now, how do you build that mental model? By studying what currently is happening,
hmm,
by going to similar web to understand who is the leader in my category, who is top three in this category, what they are doing in this category,
hmm,
and then studying those three things and coming up with a, let's say, opinion.
hmm.
Ki this is what I have learned. This is what all things are going on in the industry, and this is how we would approach.
Awesome,
So
yeah.
this is the way you can actually prepare,
For
but
that.
again it takes a lot of effort.
Mm. That's what like I think I've in one of the posts that I've written about it, I got a lot of bashing where people say यार लोग assignment ले लेंगे or they will use it for their own good. They will never reply back to you. Why should I put in so much of effort? I should not put in so much. And I was mentioning the same thing यार कि like it's about you, right? If you are so dedicated and you really want to crack it, you do it. Like you have to do it. There is no shying away from it. But I think great learning, Labdi. So what you're saying, let's say if I have an interview round with, let's say, Kapiva, okay? I'm just thinking of any random company, like Kapiva, and now you are doing a head of performance marketing role. So it has to be industry specific, company specific research that one has to do before coming to the round interview. And I think it has to go from zero to like any stage, I believe, right, Lovely? So great point as he has mentioned, let's say, then I'll go and check Kapiva's ads, maybe competitor ads, maybe I'll check their traffic, which page is getting the most traffic, which product is the highlight product, hero product. So that basic analysis one has to do before coming to the round. Ladhi, you would have taken so many interviews. As per you, what percentage of folks do come up with this kind of a preparation? And general.
So generally, at least when I take round, I tell them also, because they would have gone to 2 3 rounds already, right? They would have done their HR, then assignment, technical, then they would have come to me. So I would feed them also. Ki please be prepared. Like don't just show up in the interview. So I'll give them hints. Ki please prepare and come.
Again, as he says, a nice guy, so he does all of that, but no one may. Okay, I think few questions on technical, then I'll move to the last thing. Transitioning in roles will cover up in the end, folks. Anything on so far? Job. I think one question, Labdi. If you're applying for a job in performance marketing, you already have some experience, 1 to 2 years of social media, you have done SEO, all of that, and you know, understand concepts about Meta and Google, okay? But you really haven't had the opportunity to really handle budgets. You haven't executed that much. So can this be a big challenge when you apply before jobs? Because HR do ask, hey, have you managed a budget of certain amount? Like that's the biggest question where they have the filtration. Have you managed budget of 30, 40, 50 lakh a month? So how to handle that or how to convince a person, boss, कि मैंने 50 lakh का budget handle नहीं किया, but मुझे आता है, I can do it. One second. Yeah, my bad. Even I am learning how to operate all of these tools. I would have should have made you a co-host.
Uh, yeah, sorry. Uh, so basically, you are asking that if there is specific, like you have experience in one or two channels, let's say SEO, social media, but the role is for performance marketing, Facebook and Google.
Yeah.
Let's assume that's the uh, context, right? So again, as a HR or as a manager, you are thinking he can did he executed social media and SEO well? As I said, if you have done SEO well, you would learn Google easily. If you had done social media well, you would learn Facebook easily. So my take there also would be, can you tell me better SEO, better, like can you present yourself that you have done SEO and social media
But
better?
how should I, if I come to you, I know you're a nice guy, you will ask me
Uh,
not to that, but how should I cross the first hurdle of HR who will say, boss, you need to manage. She's like, she got narrative from Labdhi that you have to handle a budget from 20, 30 lakh and you are just at 10 lakh, 5 lakh you have handled, very low amount of budget. How should I convince someone? Or is it just futile because that's a narrative, that's a demand of a company?
no, see, when you are even see whenever you are speaking to HR also have a target.
Hmm.
They need to hire,
Good point.
right? They have a target in their head. So
Yeah.
when you are speaking to them, if they understand that yes, you are in top strata of interview, you are telling what you have done right, they may pass you. But
Hmm.
if there are conditions which people have said, no, we want this,
Hmm.
then you can just request them that can you pass my resume to the next level because I know I can crack it. So it's all about showing confidence then.
Perfect.
It is about showing confidence. And then if she doesn't agree, then directly reaching out, doing a small analysis of, as you said, Facebook ad library, others, and presenting yourself.
Hmm.
Then you need an opportunity to present, but it will be difficult. But it, that's how only you can pass.
Yeah, I think spot on HR. So HR do have targets, folks. It's not that they are in favor. If they have that perception of they can perceive that you can really crack an interview, why would they won't allow you to the next round? So think from that perspective. And whenever you speak to them, they said like speak with confidence. You can tell him or her saying, अरे आप मौका तो दो एक बार, like I'll really crack it and I have done this kind of analysis already. Maybe you just present this 5 slides that I've created, analyze for this kind of a role. I know I can add value. You can just pass on this deck or this resume. Yeah. So this we can do to cater to it. Any other questions on performance marketing? Upskill, I'll come. I think it's a great on upskilling. I'll come in the late transition. Also, I'll come. Okay, let's move to the managerial or behavior round. Have you ever rejected folks in behavioral or managerial round? If yes, what were those three? Like, if you can recollect, give me some specific examples. कि यार ये 3 reason थे या these are the 3 way. I did that.
Yeah, no, I think those round are very important. Like those are part and parcel of the interview. So
Mm.
we definitely take them seriously and we ask them, like I would ask them, what is your leadership style? If it is for head of marketing, I
Uh,
would ask them, what
Folks
is
might
your,
not know what kind of leadership style. They would not have read any, like how to simplify it. Like if you're asking me, I will ask, sir, can you define leadership style? Like what
yeah,
exactly?
I'll ask them, do like, are you, let's say, somebody who is driven by numbers,
Okay.
or
Okay.
do you have intensity, or are you someone who wants to like be right every time, take everyone? So there are multiple things involved, but I would ask, how do you lead a team?
Okay.
Do you give them feedback,
Yeah.
or what is your frequency of giving them feedback? Do
Mm.
you wait for them to make a mistake and then give a feedback, or do you lead them? So there are questions to understand how they lead a
Can
team.
you can you can you specify those questions? Like, can you mention
Yeah,
what?
so one is the feedback, like performance management is a very, very big part. that how do you manage the performance of your team.
Okay.
Then how do you set a goals for your team? Like what is your framework to set goals
Mm.
for your team,
Mm.
right? Then like do you, like are you a more intense kind of worker? Like do you have that intensity, passion around the work, or you are more like a like well planned, very well structured kind of leadership that you run?
So basically, are you a Dhoni or you're Virat Kohli kind of a leadership?
Maybe, yeah. So those things I would ask to just understand how they think about their team,
Okay.
because there is no right and wrong answer, but I just want to know how they think about their team, how they set the vision for their own team, right?
I
Then
would say,
I would ask, how would you face a challenging situation?
perfect. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
how would you face a challenging situation, or
Mm.
tell me a setback or a failure that happened in your work.
Mm.
How did you handle it?
Perfect.
Or how did you handle a very tough employee?
That's
Uh,
so. This
because
question is one of my top questions in behavioral round. How do you like give me an instance of where you handle a tough employee and what was the context and what did you do? Uh, Again, really lovely question. Because this tells your personality, right? Like it gives a lot of reflections about your personality.
yeah, because these rounds are important because you will come in a team and set the culture and tone again. So there are instances where you reject them. Plus, there are people who would say, "We want a relaxed job." Like
Achha,
I would ask, "Why are you leaving your last job?" They will say, "Oh, that was very hectic. I want a relaxed job." So no job is relaxed, right? Performance marketing is not a relaxed job. It is like truly delivering performance. So then there are multiple instances where people will say negative things about their ex boss or ex company. Like
Mm.
one time it's okay, but when it comes multiple times same reason, then it is a red flag for me. He has said three times
Mm.
negative things, so negative doesn't help, I would say.
पर वो
It
अगर
might be a reason. You
भरा
can say
हुआ है,
once,
अगर वो वाकई में भरा हुआ है is very honest about in telling you कि यार then
like you are trying to take a excuse, right? You have to get things done. Matlab, you have to move on. You
Mm.
can't say that, or you, because then you are feeling that in yourself.
Agree.
So I think those all things you understand, but it's very subjective. When you start the interview, you get to know.
Yeah,
Plus, the way people answer it helps the next question. So therefore, I say keep prepare your resume well at least, because whatever you will say, the next question is on that only.
mm. I think one way is like think about you taking an interview for yourself. Like think about what are the questions that can come up on specific on your own points and do that. But any can you tell me like few reasons? Like you said, few reasons already saying no, speaking ill about your past employees or colleagues. You mentioned about one more point, right? Um, like about
Relax job.
relaxed job, right? Is there any three, four more which is red flags for you? Boss, ये तो red flag है.
Uh, then there are some, again, numbers if they fudge, like
अच्छा.
if they fudge some number or fudge some data.
They will never say that, right?
But generally there are some times when you fudge things and then in ref check you get caught,
In team.
or that also becomes a little red flag. But what else? Generally, these are the two, three things I would say are red flag.
Okay. Makes sense. I think perfect. So I think I have one. I think in the whole process, I have understood like how you take interviews. So we have gone deeper into each of the stages that you have mentioned. Now, let's say I'm already a performance marketer. Uh, 2 years, 3 years, I'm okay with my job. It's not that I'm really looking out for any role as such. They're paying me decent, or I'm oblivious if they're paying me decent or not. I don't know. When should I decide that I should start looking out for job? I should switch. What should be the trigger? भाई मुझे नहीं ढूंढना है, but like how should I know that I should look?
Uh, matlab, if
Perfect.
somebody is happy with their job, let them be happy, Rohit. But
What is your answer, Sablo? Ekdam, I think this was the most interesting question maybe we discussed. But really
see,
want to know.
I think everyone has their own goals and
कुछ नहीं पता लब्धि आपने
lifestyle, right? So if they're happy with that, I would say don't get into the rat race and try to chase some other company just because you have to do it. If you are, because see, when you are joining a company, let's say when I join a company or I take up a role, few questions that I ask them: do I have everything to succeed there? Like, will I get everything to succeed there? Because it is an important aspect. Like, you may not succeed in every environment, right? Like, I can't thrive in all types of environment. So these are few questions. So when you are in a like, you know that you are doing your A game somewhere, then I would say continue to grow there. But if you are just getting comfortable, then I would say just try like out things, learn, I would say.
So I'll tell you, very great point about comfort. But I also want to give them something, when they should, what are few things that will tell them they're getting comfortable? Is there any few cues which you can suggest?
I think if they are not learning anything new, so
Perfect.
because plus you don't have work half of the day, you know that you are not doing work, like you, like most of the time you know it कि यार आधे दिन का भी काम नहीं बचा है अभी मेरे पास, like I don't have enough work. So you know that you are not doing that. So those all things will tell you कि you are getting comfortable and you are not trying hard enough. So I think setting benchmark itself is important, right? You have to set your own benchmark ki whatever I'll do it in a passionate way or do it in a manner that I am at least proud of. So one of the question that I ask majorly in all interview, what is that one thing that you are proud of? Literally simple question. Few people say me that there is nothing that I am proud of.
Oh,
That also is okay for me. मतलब it's okay, but like then they start thinking at least यार ऐसा मैंने क्या किया which I'm proud of.
well,
So like at least try to have those things कि यार I should be proud of my work. I tell my team कि when you will go from here, you should say कि proudly I worked here and I am proud of what I have done.
right. Being
So
part of
that will help you.
that. No, I can second that and I can vouch for it because at Cuemath, that's what's the culture we all used to have. Like you have to
Yeah.
be.
Because in my team, if somebody brings some poor work, I'll just ask them only, are you really proud of this work? They themselves will start thinking कि यार अभी ऐसे लेके नहीं जा सकते. So in general it's different when you work, but you have to ask these questions yourself also कि यार do, like, is it really something I'm adding value or I'm really proud of this work, or is it just 9 to 5 coming going? So those all things you have to figure out. Plus I think you can be scared कि okay, AI is coming. So in 2015, I used to have 50-member marketing team. Today, literally, it's 5-member marketing team. So it's 1/10 for sure. Like earlier, it was you need one person for Google, one person for Facebook, one person for Facebook cross city, cross geography. It was that difficult that time, but now it is getting simpler. So AI anyway will come advance. So maybe you can just think of that and keep yourself on toes. But try to think if you are proud of your work or not. Are you meaningfully add things or not? And you don't have to work 20 hours, right? Performance marketing job is not more time. It is about more structured thinking rather than, I would say, time.
Yeah. Actual time in a day I'm executing will be maybe half an hour or so.
Yeah.
I think majority of the time either I'm just figuring out, solving it, analyzing it, researching it. Great point, Labdhi. Now, Labdhi, one question from my end is uh, like I think it came up because when you were answering one question, so it came up from there. The question is, sab kuch, it's for someone who is applying for a job, right? Like he has to prepare and all of that. And how should I evaluate a company before I even join? Like, are there any criterias where I, as a performance marketer, should think of, yeah, these are the 5 checks I should also have, give to the company?
Yeah.
What should those checks be before joining a company?
So I think definitely you should evaluate a company. We get scared, but I think you should ask them questions. Ki,
Yes.
what is your budget? What is your plan?
Mm,
How are you thinking to invest in marketing?
mm,
Will I get these things to actually get successful?
mm,
So one of the key criteria is, will you be successful?
mm,
Second, again, will you learn? Because I have seen people, they have gone from a small company where they were handling everything to a large company where they're handling like another brick in performance marketing. So they are not really happy because they know that their potential is 100x, they are at 1x. And eventually they will leave that company and move forward. But that is okay. But more importantly, you should know the culture of the company.
mm.
What is their thought process? Will
How can
they
I identify?
invest money or not?
Yeah, how can I identify that culture? That's a big thing. How, like,
You have to ask right questions. The way you ask questions, you will get to know, okay, what is the current marketing strategy? How are you thinking to invest in performance marketing? Why have you not done it till now? Or what challenges you are facing currently? So those questions will tell you what they are thinking. So the only way to know is ask the question. If you are scared of asking questions, if I ask, will they select me, not select me, then it is different. But if you are clear ki I want to know 4 things for up from you, and this is the reason. There are few people who just ask questions because it is written ki you should ask questions in interview. Please don't do that, because people don't even listen to my answer and they say okay. If you are genuinely curious to know, then only ask questions and then evaluate, because it's your time to evaluate the person, because you need to evaluate your boss also, because your boss will define your career. So I think that also is very important. You should ask, whom will I report to? You should understand what I can learn from that person. So that will help you to structure your mind. I think it's more about asking questions from them.
Got it. Perfect. I think I'm done with my list of anything follow-up thing. I think I've also picked up a few questions from chat as well. I'll just see quickly. Folks, if you have questions that have not been answered, maybe you can quickly, just copy paste it again. I'll anyways go through from bottoms up. We have maybe, it's already 10. We won't be taking much time, 10 to 15 minutes more. We'll quickly take it, a few questions which we have. So future of roles and changing landscape, especially in the thing. Yeah, I think the AI related questions, Labdhi, where folks are asking how will AI affect their hiring and how they can stay updated with AI coming in. What
uh,
guidance you can give to them.
I think AI mostly is impacting marketing and sales.
Mhm.
So definitely you would have to stay like updated yourself about the changes in marketing and AI. How it will change, I think it will make life easier of the marketer for sure, because it is getting easier and easier to generate content, to even structure the account, even audit the account. So it is getting easier, but again, you need to know how to use it for the benefit of yourself. I think majorly Chat GPT gives answers which are very verbose and very generic. But if you know the right prompt, or if you know how to use it, then it will become a very easy, or it will help you in your job
Correct.
which
And
you are doing.
like I want to learn and maybe what exactly should I do tomorrow? I've blocked 2 hours of my time to learn this. What will you suggest me to do it in those 2 hours?
I would suggest buy a structured course to learn, because unstructured learning wastes lot of time. So I would say, like, if you are earning, let's say, X lakhs,
Mm.
keep 5% budget of annual CTC as your learning budget.
Awesome.
Keep 5% of your CTC as your learning budget. That is SIP for yourself. Don't do SIP for
Mm.
ghar, but do SIP for yourself, I would say.
No,
So,
love.
like, make that number 5%, then you have to spend it. You will do better.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think spot on, Labdhi.
And
Great.
buy structured course. I always tell people ki buy structured course.
Mm.
Usually courses have 7 days refund.
Mm.
So take it. If you don't like it, take the refund. Everybody gives refund. If there is a myth that I won't get a refund, it's not that easy to go away if you have promised a refund. So you will get a refund.
Wow.
So make your budget, buy a structured course. It will help you 10 times more than unstructured course.
Super. I think the amount of time you will save is also another. But how to evaluate also, Labdhi? There's so many different courses out there on same topic. Everyone is saying their course will make you earn this much, their course will do the best. What is your thoughts on that? How to evaluate what course is good?
So evaluate, I think just see the trial, whichever you like, buy it, because more or less, if you are preparing, let's say for IIT JEE, there
Mm.
is LN, there is FITGI, there is Bansal, there is VMC. Everyone usually have a same course. It's more about the competition that is there. So if there is a community-led group,
Mm.
I would suggest join that
Mm.
because you will learn from community also.
Mm.
If there is anything which is community-led, where you know that people can post, there is a two-way communication happening, that course is far better, I feel. So try to find out courses which gives you power of community, because it will grow only. Like I have done courses of D2C, I have done courses of SEO, Google business listing. I am in that group that they update their courses, they give me update all the time. I can ask anything.
Mm.
Today I just post in the group, my query is solved. Hey,
Mm.
I am not able to get my
Mm.
Facebook unlocked, what should I do?
Mm.
People will help me.
Perfect. Perfect. I think a lot of understanding. People are really loving your answers, Labdhi. Uh, and let me just quickly take one. Labdhi, you have 5 minutes more?
Yes, yes, no problem.
Cool. I think there's
I think
one question where folks around is,
performance to product marketing, I think.
yeah, correct.
See, so difference between performance and product led marketing. First, like we have to really figure that out, right? Performance marketing is more like driven by ad spends where we are spending in Meta, Google, etc., etc. Product marketing is more where you will tweak a product or you will make a product to make it viral, right? That is the main difference.
Correct.
And to take an example, let's say MPL or Dream 11. If I download, I have to bring my friends also to play that game.
True.
I can create a game where my school friends are there,
Mm.
right? We started with 5 school friends. Now we are 50 school friends in same group of Dream 11.
Okay. Okay.
So they made it in a way that I invite someone else. So that is a product loop they are trying to create.
Mm. Perfect.
Let's assume Playo. So Playo, I can host a game.
Mm.
You can join me in that game,
Mm.
or I can invite someone to join me in the game. So those are product led initiatives that will help you to do marketing, right? So there the most important thing is consumer understanding, customer understanding.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
you have to speak to customers, you have to get feedback, you have to get build your hypothesis,
Mm.
execute with product, deliver results.
Mm.
And if you're transitioning from performance marketer to product marketing, let's say that's your goal. So focus your resume and your answers towards customer, product changes you brought in, or
Mm.
how did you play a role in product or landing page changes? Because landing page is the key for performance marketer.
Yes.
So you give those kinds of insights. This is what I have done. This is how I can bring value. So it's a fancy word of marketing only. Product marketing is nothing. It's just a fancy word because people like product manager more than, let's say, marketing. So it's a fancy way, but it is one on the same thing where you are trying to build product loops
Hmm. Got
to
it.
get people.
I think lovely. Just reiterating the point. Performance marketer, the closest association to product is your landing pages, right? That's where you're making a lot of changes day in, day out. And that's a bridge between product marketing roles, as Labdhi mentioned. Giving examples of what experiments you did to improve conversion rates on landing pages is like being prepared for such kind of interviews. Perfect. Labdhi, one question and which uh, we were also discussing a few days back. Performance marketing role has majorly shifted to performance sales roles. Many job nowadays have any specific target based incentives. Fix नहीं देंगे भैया, target करोगे तो ही आपको पैसे मिलेंगे. Love it. What are your thoughts on it? Uh,
Oh, it's
and,
good. You should pick up those roles.
and before there was discussion also happening in our community, and I had a very different opinion. And everyone was saying, no, no, if anyone is not giving you fixed, don't take such kind of opportunities, jobs, all of that kind of a discussion. And everyone was rooting for it. And I thought we once we'll have a session on it and I'll tell them. But just your thoughts, go on.
First of all, I think people hate sales. Somehow people hate sales, but I can tell you, most of the founders are just doing sales. They are pitching to VC. They
Yeah.
are trying to get their partners. They are trying to sell to employees. They are trying to convince their customers. So first, please don't be scared with sales. If you know sales, you have a superpower with you.
Superpower,
हाँ
yes.
हाँ, मतलब first is acknowledging कि we are not scared of sales,
Yeah.
because if you are scared of sales anyway, performance marketing also you will be scared of. It will be very difficult for you. So first is just acknowledge that sales is okay. Like you don't need to hate it, or sales word सुनते ही ऐसे just don't get scared. At the end, as a performance marketer, you have to deliver ROAS, return on your ad spend, right? So either it is direct e-commerce, so website is doing sales for you, or there is a person you are generating leads and he'll do sales for you. At the end, you have to collaborate with that guy. Like today also, let's say if I'm running a campaign, I take few calls. He let me do sales so that I can tell the sales team कि यार क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है, कैसे करना है. But the major outcome, learning, transition, everything will happen when you actually take ownership of sales, right? If you are saying it is performance sales, I feel that it's again, you are trying to modify the word. Even performance marketing is about numbers. You have to deliver numbers, boss.
Yes.
Come what may. Like you need to have that attitude. Otherwise, you will again find it difficult. You can't say मैंने leads दे दिए अब तो sales वालों का काम है. Sales will come and say कि यार ये lead की quality बहुत खराब है. ये there is a classic
Yeah.
tussle that you will be in. You won't add value to anyone.
Mm,
So you have to have a common goal. Ki boss, I need to generate revenue.
mm,
What I can do.
mm,
This is what I can do.
mm,
Second, that there are roles where you are not paid fix and
mm,
you are paid percentage of sales.
mm,
There you can get lot of learning, right?
mm,
Like, uh, and the earning is also unlimited. But it depends if it is something that you want to learn. That because there are some industry which I wanted to learn. So I have done projects for free. I've just done consulting for free because I wanted to learn.
perfect.
Versus there are projects which I don't want to do. So
Mm,
I would say no. So
mm,
it depends if the project is aligned to your career path.
mm,
See, second big mistake is career is literally 50 years.
mm,
You start your career at 22, you end your career at 70. ठीक है, मतलब there is no break in that, right? There is 40 years of minimum career you have. So you need to think 40 years rather than thinking right now what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
once you start thinking 40 years, you will do better.
Mm.
So if there is a project where you can learn, you have time, take it. Because there is no pressure also.
Mm.
They are saying ki you will get on, you will have better ownership also. But in any company, you are performance marketeer. And if your job stops at lead, please go and check what is your conversion rate, what revenue you are delivering to the company. And don't say कि sales नहीं कर पा रहा है, इसलिए we are not getting the answer. Because that will not help you much. Or company will also figure it out and not give you better.
Great point, Labdhi. I think you've already covered in various directions. You have covered this answer. Okay, so I think that's all. Any last questions if you have? People loved your session, and yeah, thank you so much, folks. I think Tanisha has one last question. We'll take it. Folks, if you have any other questions, you can always message me. Labdhi, you also can share. Can you not share your LinkedIn? I'll also share, Labdhi, your LinkedIn profile on the group, so you don't need to worry about so that people can reach out to you directly. Okay. Last question before we leave. For any performance marketer to grow in their career ahead, should it be like you know it all, paid, social, SEO, GTM, analytics, or a person can also make a career, a solid career in just paid search only? कि हम तो बस paid search ही जानते हैं, उसी में हम build करेंगे.
See, the deeper you are, the better you will get. Okay. As I said, career is 40 years. So if you are deep in any one channel, you have much more valuable than anybody who is average of all. So average of all will not help you. Like if you know a SEO guy who is expert, he can literally do 5 projects easily. He'll earn like 5 into 30,000 also, 1.5 lakh easily. If he is expert in SEO versus if he know SEO, I know basic, SCM, I know basic, Facebook, I know basic. It won't help you. Neither it will help company. So company who is writing Google, they expect you to know, but they want you to be expert in one. At least that is what I know. If you are expert in one and you know bits and bit, I know you will learn it. Or they don't know how to hire anyway. If somebody is putting here sab aana chahiye, so they don't know how to hire. So don't worry, they will not ask even any question which is technical. Or they'll call someone to take interview, because I get people who ask me, yeah, please take interview. I don't know how to take it. So anyway, if a company is expecting you to know it all, they won't take interview where you know it all. My suggestion is be best in one channel. Like become expert. If you can become Google business listing expert, become. If you can become SCM expert, go ahead. Then it will be far easier for you to learn Meta, to learn SCM, to learn SEO. That makes your life easy.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is go deep in one, become top 1%, or be proud of your work. Just evaluate yourself. I am proud of this channel or not. You will get it. So it
Agreed.
will become easy.
I think that's how I also did it when Labdhi gave me a charter performance marketing and we were very beginning. I just focused on only one. I knew there were so many channels, but I just focused on search ads and I went deeper in search ads and then I went into Meta. And then that's how the whole skill set starts to build up. So yes, before you know, before you haven't gone into deep in any of the channels, it doesn't make even sense to even explore the channels. Do explore, but do have depth. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, folks. And I think first of all, thank you, Labdhi, for joining us and gracing us, answering all of the questions, giving us different perspective. Do let me know, folks, if you want to have such sessions on cracking interviews. There are multiple sessions also lined up. Whatever you have learned, I think that's what we do, Labdhi, in every session. What we do is we say that uh, whatever we have learned, jot it down. whatever your key takeaways. It doesn't have to be like so many, maybe just three things that I learned from Labdhi today, right? And go ahead and make it public or document it. Because when you're making it public, then you'll be thinking twice. I've written it correctly. Is it right? Is the format right? That way you start to think it in a much deeper way, in a better way, right? So it can be public on LinkedIn, it can be public on our community, anywhere, wherever you feel like you want to share, you share. There is no hard and fast rule, but just make it public so that your skin is in the game, that whatever you're writing, you're thinking about it again and again. Okay. So do whatever your learnings are. I highly suggest whatever, it doesn't have to be whatever you want to write. If you want to write like tens of points, you can write. If you want to write 2 points, whatever is it, just note key takeaway. What are the three things you're going to do next? It's ready in my head. I'll also share what are the I.
Also, last thing, Rohit, which I do, if you go for an interview, please make a Google document
Mm,
of that interview. Like prepare making a Google document.
mm,
There are only 5 questions. Why? What? Tell me about yourself.
mm.
Why do you want to join our company?
Yeah.
Explain your campaign. So
Yes.
create a Google Doc. Name it. Let's say you are applying for Cuemath. Write Cuemath interview.
Mm,
Build a Google Doc.
yeah.
You can ask ChatGPT also top 5 question asked for performance marketer in Cuemath. So it's very structured, like it will structure your interview.
Agreed. And also, our post interview, you can go back and say, keep adding your own list of, these are the new
Yeah.
questions. And again, you prepare for it so that in next interview it helps. Great point, Labdhi. Again, structure it, document it. That's the key thing that we're mentioning. Oh, people are loving this session. I was least expecting how will this go. I thought, Labdhi, that people are not really concerned about how to crack interviews. I think folks in my
I,
community are more
I
concerned.
think few things that I learned from Rohit is like he would evaluate every month his performance, come to me, he rate my performance. So it's a pressure for manager to rate him. And if I will rate him, let's say 3.5 out of 5, he'll ask me, okay, what should I have done to get 5? So I think those things help you to reach there. You ask your manager, ki boss, I want 5. Plus, second big thing is the loop that you are thinking. Like when year ended, 2023 is ending, 24 is starting, you reviewed your year. कि यार मैंने क्या किया. So similarly, review your month.
Yeah,
Just document January. This is my summary. That's it.
lovely.
February, this is my summary. Like one line summary, nothing. Don't do much. It will help you. That's what I would say. This is what I have learned from Rohit because he was tough employee to handle.
No, no, yeah, I think Labdhi, everything is just because of you. I remember those days. I used to keep coming back to Labdhi. Labdhi, मुझे 5 ही चाहिए. मुझे नहीं फर्क पड़ता क्या है क्या, मुझे ना रेटिंग 5 चाहिए यार. मतलब फुल आउट ऑफ फुल. एंड वी यूज्ड टू हैव लॉट ऑफ डिस्कशन. 5 नहीं आता है, सबको 5 नहीं मिलता है. मैंने कहा नहीं, मिलने के लिए क्या चाहिए होता है. And he used to very patiently and used to guide me. And I remember those days to come back and then used to work upon it. And then again 2 months down the line again ask Labdhi, हो रहा है ना, मतलब is it I'm in the right direction, अब आपको क्या लगता है better हुआ कि नहीं. And he used to again patiently answer and review. So again, such managers very difficult to handle, have in life, but I think he's a great person to work under. तो आपके पास कुछ roles वगैरह hiring है Labdhi, तो बता दो. They would like to come and join your team. But if there is anything, you let me know. Sorry, 1 second. I'll figure this out here. How to make co-hosts. It's been some time. Hanji.
Yeah. So I keep getting projects. As of now, I don't have any role, but I will route via Rohit only. So if Rohit takes your interview, he passes you, I will take you.
Great. Okay,
And
cool guys. Thank you so much. Again, go back, document it, and share it so that others also can learn from each one of you. Everyone will have a different takeaway. My takeaway will be different from yours. Note everything down, put it on the learning bank group. Everyone can put it on that group so that we can consolidate all our learnings and share it with each other. Hope you love this session. And more, I'm planning, a lot of things have been planned. coming next, and I think we'll keep sharing such insights. Lovely, that was only one session around career and all. I am 100% sure there are hundreds different tangents of professional life I can, have a discussion on. So I'll keep inviting you for different discussions. Thank you so much for taking the time out on a Friday
Yeah,
night.
thank you for having me, and people are still listening. It's
I think still
record
more left.
record turnout.
Cool. Hope
Okay,
you all
it's
enjoyed. Uh, and if you want, I can even unmute Labdhi if you really want to have a sense of. Uh, yeah, I think all folks can unmute themselves, and if they want to share their greetings to Labdhi, they can do it one on one. The more greetings you share to Labdhi, he can again come back. Okay, so be nice and you can say some good words. Before
bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
you go, Labdhi, hear the good words. People might want to say something to you.
Bye, Labdhi.
Acha,
Bye. Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
Labdhi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the session today. Look forward to more such sessions.
Thank you so
I
much
joined
for
late today, but I'm just regretting it why I was so late.
no, I
Again,
think
thanks.
Rohit will share the recordings.
Yeah, I'll share the recording for sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your kind words.
Chalo, bye, Rohit.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye, lovely. Thanks.
bye everybody. Thank you.
Bye, bye, bye.